Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us here today for the 2019 Norton National Seating Championship race. For today, the men go first. We have Zach, Tucker, Ian, Johnny, Keaton, and Sean. And then we begin with the women from start 3. We'll have one forerunner sled from start 3. And we'll have Chevy, Emily, Brittany, Summer, Ashley, Sophie, and Rachel. 30 minutes out before we begin. Once again, starting with the men here this morning, then on to the women. We do have one forerunner sled from start 3, the doubles team of Dana and Duncan. We'll take about a 45-minute break in between the end of the first heat and the start of the second heat for some extra track prep. So once again, for today, we will have Zach, Tucker, Ian, Johnny, Keaton, and Sean. That's our men's race. We drop down to start 3 for one forerunner sled. That's the doubles team of Dana and Duncan. For the women, we'll have Chevy, Emily, Brittany, Summer, Ashley, Sophie, and Rachel. And again, once we finish our women's first heat, we'll take a 45-minute break and have some track prep. We're going to lay down a fresh coat of water for our athletes here today. Matt Gannon, please report to the race office. Matt Gannon, please report to the race office. Once again, good morning, everyone. For today, we are just under 30 minutes out before we begin with the 2019 Norton National Seating Championship race. I have a small update for officials, athletes, coaches, and everybody around the hill. We will have one forerunner from men's start. Yes, we have a forerunner from men's start. That'll be Alex Ferlazzo, representing Australia. He'll be forerunning for today's race. And then we move into the men. We'll have Zach, Tucker, Ian, Johnny, Keaton, and Sean down to start 3. We have one forerunner sled from start 3. That'll be Dana and Duncan. And then Chevy, Emily, Brittany, Summer, Ashley, Sophie, and Rachel. And we will take about 45 minutes from the end of the first heat to the start of the second heat. We're going to lay down a fresh coat of water for our athletes. So once again, be prepared for a 45-minute break in between the heats while we prep the track. And of course, good luck to all of our competitors here today. Good luck. Once again, good morning, everybody. 20-minute warning until we begin with the 2019 Norton National Seating Championship race. Thank you for joining us. It's a beautiful Saturday morning here in Lake Placid. Ice is nice. We'll put down a fresh spritz on the track despite the weather we battled out yesterday. Track is still here. It's resilient, and it's beautiful this morning. So for today, we start with the men. We have one forerunner sled for the men. That'll be Alex Ferlazzo. It's our Australian friend doing some forerunning for us here today. Then we move on to the men's competition for Zach, Tucker, Ian, Johnny, Keaton, and Sean. We'll drop down to start 3, and we have a forerunner at start 3. That is the doubles team of Dana and Duncan. On to the women's competitive field for Chevy, Emily, Brittany, Summer, Ashley, Sophie, and Rachel. Once again, thank you for joining us here this morning, whether you're tuning in online on the live stream or here trackside. It's going to be an exciting day of racing. Good luck to all of our competitive athletes who are here today. Just under 10 minutes out until we begin. Just under 10 minutes out until we begin. We're going to send our forerunner off the top, right at 10. Forerunners coming off the top, right at 10. That's Alex Ferlasso. Then, for our men's competition, we have Zach Tucker, Ian, Johnny, Keaton, and Sean down to start 3. We have a doubles forerunner sled for start 3. That'll be Dana and Duncan. Then we'll have Chevy, Emily, Brittany, Summer, Ashley, Sophie, and Rachel. Thank you for joining us here today for the 2019 Norton National Seating Championship race. Good luck to all of our competitive sleds joining us here today. And again, in between the first and the second heat, we're going to have just about a 45-minute break for some track prep. Thank you for joining us here today. It's a 5-minute warning until we begin. A 5-minute warning until we begin. Once again, for today, Alex is our forerunner sled. We will begin with the men's competition for Zach Tucker, Ian, Johnny, Keaton, and Sean. Then we drop down to start 3, the forerunner sled, the doubles team of Dana and Duncan. Then we move on to the women's comp. For Chevy, Emily, Brittany, Summer, Ashley, Sophie, and Rachel. And again, be prepared for a 45-minute break in between the heats for some track prep. All athletes must go to the upper finish. All athletes, please go to the upper finish. And again, thank you for joining us here this morning, trackside or tuned in online for the 2019 Norton National Seating Championship race. And for all of our spectators, athletes, coaches, officials, the awards ceremony will be at the upper finish. The upper finish for the awards ceremony. So a 2-minute warning. A 2-minute warning. A 2-minute warning to our Forerunner sled. 2-minute warning to the Forerunner sled. Here we go. At start one, track is clear to start one for Alex. So, let in track from start one. This is Alex Verlasso. This is our Australian friend doing some forerunning for today's race. We have the 2019 Norton National Seating Championship race here this morning. Through Cliffside into Whiteface and coming down through the Devil's Highway. Once again, this is Alex. This is our Australian friend. Doing some forerunning down the track. We have the men's race up first. Women's race is up second. And once again, the awards ceremony will be at the upper finish today. Upper finish for the awards ceremony. We have some quick ice today. Temp's pretty cold. I think it's the coldest it's been so far since opening the track. Through the chicane into curve at 17. And coming down 18, climbing curve 19. And our Australian forerunner friends through and down. Our first competitive sled, Zach DiGregorio. Please stand by. Track's clear to start one for Zach. So let in track from start 1. This is Zach DiGregorio. Sliding through cliffside. 6.524 start time for Zach DiGregorio as he makes his way through Whiteface and down through the Devil's Highway. Zach's still on the juniors team, so he's jumping up to race with the seniors here today. Through 8 and 9 into 10, Shady 2. Solid looking run here for Zach. Shiny track here this morning. Some quick conditions. Cold overnight. A little late out of 12. Corrects nicely there in 13. Through the chicane into curve 17. Speeds today for our losers. 74.2 on the exit of curve 14. Zach DiGregorio climbing 19. And he's going to set the pace here this morning. 52.099 for Zach DiGregorio. 52.099. Putting him in first. Up next, Tucker West. Tucker, stand by. Track's clear to start 1 for Tucker. Sled and track from start 1. This is Tucker West representing Team USA, just like all of our other sliders here today, besides our Forerunner slide. 6.425 start time for Tucker West. Through the upper straightaways of the track, looking for a 52.099 or better in order to chase down Zach DiGregorio. He's coming down through the Devil's Highway. Tucker has 2/10 in the bank here. Head back, nice and relaxed through 8 and 9 into 10, Shady 2. Difficulty in the 8-9 crossover, doing fine here on the exit of 10 as he progresses into curve 14, Benham's Bend. Let's see what Tucker's doing for speed here as he exits the bend. 3/10 in the bank, 76 miles per hour for Tucker West here this morning. Down the heart, climbing 19 possible, 81 and 19. He's going to come up. He has his sled, but he is just not making the finish line. Tucker will be a DNF for today. Going to have a short hold on the track. Short hold on the track. Finish, stay there. Finish, stay there. Ready, Ian? Track's clear to start 1 for Ian. Sled in from start 1. This is Ian Smith. Start time for Ian. It's a 6.631. He's going to be chasing down Zach DiGregorio. Interesting things here this morning. Through Cliffside into Whiteface and down through the Devil's Highway, looking for a 52.099 or better in order to move up into first place. We're about halfway through with our men's competitive field, down around 8 and 9 into 10, Shady 2. This is Ian Smith into Shady 2. 2/10 behind the pace set by Zach DiGregorio. Now down through the labyrinth through 11, 12, and 13 into 14, Benham's Bend. Some quick ice here this morning. These athletes need to be on their toes. Sliding 17, 3/10 behind. 73 miles per hour here for Ian Smith as he climbs up through curve 19 and crosses the line with a down time of 52.646. He'll sit in second place after his first heat of competition. We'll have Johnny up next. Johnny, stand by. Track's clear to start 1 for Johnny. Sled in from start 1. This is Johnny Gustafson. Sliding curve 1 start time for Johnny of 6.390. Quick start for Johnny. It's going to give him a 10th off the top. Just needs to be clean through these upper straightaways, get some good speed going. Have no trouble with that here today. 52.099 is the time he's looking to beat. It's currently Zach Gregorio sitting in first place. Ian Smith sits in second. 52.099 is the time Johnny's looking for. 2/10 in the bank here, and he's increasing his lead as he exits curve 10. Just a little bit of touch on the short wall there on the exit of curve 10. We've been seeing that quite often here this year. Almost 4/10 to work with for Johnny. Through the chicane, threads the needle there as he enters the heart of the track at 74.8 miles per hour. And now climbing curve 19, he's well ahead of the pace and on his way into first place with a down time of 51.694. 51.694, the down time for Johnny. And we will have Keaton up next. Track's clear to start 1 for Keaton. Sled in from start 1. This is Keaton Jens. Sliding curve 1. Start time for Keaton of 6.574. Some trouble through the upper straightaways here for Keaton. It's a little quick here today. Got to be nice and composed here on the top section of the track. Keaton's going to be hungering for some speed in the lower portion. Coming down around 8 and 9. Into 10. Shady 2. This is Keaton. Into 10. Difficulty in 10 for Keaton. Exiting 10 through the labyrinth. Into 14. He's going to be a little bit behind here. Having some trouble there in that middle section. He's all right into the heart here. This is Keaton coming down through curve 18, climbing curve 19. Crossing the line with a time of 56.582 for Keaton. We'll have Sean Hollander up next. Track's clear to start 1 for Sean. Sled in from start 1. This is Sean Hollander. Looking for a 51.694 or better here on run number 1 to chase down Johnny Gustafson. 6.498 start time for Sean. Sets him up nicely for his first run. He's going to be only a 10th behind here as he chases Johnny down through these upper straightaways. Beautiful line there through that 3-4 straightaway. Now entering the Devil's Highway portion. He's carrying some good speed here. Nicely done through 6 and 7, same there, and 8 and 9 into 10, Shady 2, only 2/10 back here as he tries to chase down Johnny, our current leader. The time to beat, 51.694. A little late at a 12. Had some trouble crossing on through 11, 12. He's all right here as he progresses through the chicane. 74 miles per hour for Sean Hollander, down 18, climbing curve 19. Nicely done for Sean. Through the finish curve with a time of 52.137, putting him in third after his first run. That'll conclude our men's first heat. We're going to drop down to start 3 for our ladies' competition. Dana and Duncan, stand by. Track is clear to start 3 for Dana and Duncan. Sled in from start 3. This is the doubles team of Dana Kellogg and Duncan Seeger, acting as a forerunner sled before our ladies' competition here today. Coming down through the Devil's Highway, this is our junior doubles team, leading the charge here as a forerunner sled, sliding into curve 10, Shady 2. Order for the women: Chevy, Emily, Brittany, Summer, Ashley, Sophie, and Rachel. We just had the men's first heat of competition. Donnie sits on top of the leader box as we approach our second heat of the men's competition. Women going to take their first run before we take a 45-minute break for some track prep. Doubles team having a solid run here, climbing up through the finish curve. And they're through and down. Nicely done. Definitely a PB for those two. Up next, we'll have Chevy. Track's clear to start 3 for Chevy. Sled in track from start 3. This is Siobhan Forgan. Our first competitive sled for the women's competition through Whiteface down through the Devil's Highway. 6:4:82 start time for Chevy. Sliding through curves 8 and 9 into 10, Shady 2. Once again, this is Chevy. Coming down the track, setting the pace for our women's competition, exiting 10 through the labyrinth. Sliding into curve 14, some quick conditions on the track here today. Fastest ice in the world, I'm claiming it right now here today in Lake Placid. Sliding through curve 17. Maybe not compared to Whistler, but anyway. Chevy's through and down, setting the pace for our women's competition. 44:729 for Siobhan Forgan. And Emily Sweeney will be our next slider. Emily, stand by. Track's clear to start 3 for Emily. So, in track from start 3, this is Emily Sweeney through Whiteface, coming down through the Devil's Highway. Start time for Emily, 6:4:61, 2/100ths of a second to work with off the top of the track. As she tries to chase down Siobhan Forgan. 44:729, the time to beat as Emily enters curve 10, Shady 2, with a decent amount of time to work with. Through 10 nicely, now down through the labyrinth of the track, through 12 and 13 into 14, Benham's Bend, a 10th now as she slides through the bend. Speed for Emily around 70 miles per hour into curve 17 of the Heart. Now down 18 and climbing curve 19. Solid run for Emily Sweeney, crossing the line into first place, 44:186. 5/10 ahead of the pace. We'll have Brittany Arndt up next. Track's clear to start 3 for Brittany. Sled in track from start 3. This is Brittany Arndt through Whiteface, sliding down through the Devil's Highway. Start time here for run 1 for Brittany Arndt of 6.514. 0.05 of a second behind the pace set by Emily Sweeney. Down through the Devil's Highway, crossing over between curves 8 and 9 into 10, Shady 2. We really rolled out the welcome mat here today for USA Luge after some storms. We did a full prep on the track. A little quick today. Cold conditions overnight. Nice ice this morning. 1/10 of a second off as she slides through the chicane. She's going to match Emily's speed right around 70 miles an hour. Good speed for Brittany. Down 18, climbing curve 19. 0.08 behind now. Catching up to Emily. It's going to be close. Through and down. Second place. 44.248. 0.06 behind the pace set by Emily Sweeney. That'll make it Emily, Brittany, and Siobhan. 1, 2, and 3. So far here on run number 1, we have Summer Britcher up next. Summer, stand by. Track is clear to start 3 for Summer. Sled in from start 3. This is Summer Britcher, sliding Whiteface down through the Devil's Highway. Summer's going to need a big start here. She has it, 6.441. 0.02 of a second to work with as she tries to chase down her teammate, Emily Sweeney. Again, Emily, Brittany, and Chevy sitting 1, 2, and 3. Summer's in track, sliding into 10, Shady 2. Little sliders right there on the entrance at 10. She's doing all right, though, but she's going to fall back into the red here as she tries to chase down Emily. 0.03 of a second separate her from the lead here. Looks like her and Brittany may be battling it out. Not far behind here. Finding time back 0.02 of a second behind Emily. Down 18 and climbing 19. Now in the green by 0.09. Summer Britcher through and down into first place by 1/10 of a second with a down time of 44.047. Makes it Summer, Emily, and Brittany 1, 2, and 3 with Ashley up next. Track's clear to start 3 for Ashley. Sled in from start 3. This is Ashley Farquharson through Whiteface and down through the highway. 6.515 start time. 0.07 back off the top. 44.047 or better would move her up into first here as she tries to chase down Summer Britcher. It's Summer, Emily, and Brittany sitting 1, 2, and 3. We're just over halfway through with our women's first heat. Ashley through curve 10, down through the labyrinth, a 10th behind as she progresses into curve 14, Benham's Bend. See how she's doing here on speed in the fastest curve of the track, right around 69.6 miles per hour through the chicane for Ashley. Into the heart, 0.2 back, down 18, climbing 19. Again, this is Ashley Farquharson. Through and down, she'll be into fourth place with a time of 44.480. We'll have Sophie Kirkby up next. Sophie, stand by. Track's clear to start 3 for Sophie. Sled in from start 3. This is Sophie Kirkby. Sliding through Whiteface, coming down through the highway. Start time for Sophie, 6'5", 6'3". Putting her a 10th behind here. She tries to chase down the senior slider, Summer Britcher. The time to beat here on run number 1 for our ladies competition is a 44.047. Sophie Kirkby in track, exiting 10 down through the labyrinth. A little difficulty on the exit of curve 10. Back on track there. Kick the Kufens a little bit. Put it back into the right spot. 7/10 behind here. She slides the chicane into curve 17 at 67.3 miles per hour. Sophie coming down 18 and climbing curve 19. Just a little bit behind here. She climbs up through the finish curve, through and down at a 45.658, putting her in 6th after her first run. We'll have Rachel Germain up next. Rachel, stand by. Track's clear to start 3 for Rachel. Sled in from start 3. This is Rachel Germain. Sliding down through the Devil's Highway. Start time for Rachel of 6.549. Rachel's looking for a 44.047 or better in order to move up into first place here for our first heat of the women's competition. Rachel, our final sled of the women's first heat, sliding 10, Shady 2, 10th of a second off the pace, set by Summer Britcher. And now progressing nicely through the labyrinth of the course, through 12, 13, into 14, Benham's Bend. A little tap out of 12, not a big deal. You have curve 13 to correct for that. 3/10 behind here, 69.3 miles per hour through the chicane for Rachel Germain. Now climbing curve 19, 5/10 off the pace of Summer Britcher, crossing the finish line into 5th place with a down time of 44.677. So after one heat of competition, we see Summer Britcher sitting atop the leader box. Emily Sweeney sits in 2nd with Brittany Arndt sitting in 3rd. It'll be about a 45-minute break as we prep the track, so a 45-minute break before we begin with run number 2 for the men. So we'll come back at 11:10. Don't go anywhere. Make yourself another cup of coffee. We're going to put a spritz down on the track and make it a little bit faster for our second heat of competition. Hopefully everybody's excited for that. It's a 25-minute warning to our Forerunner sleds. Forerunner sled at star 1, 25-minute warning to our Forerunner sleds. just under 15 minutes. Just under 15-minute warning to our forerunner. Just under a 15-minute warning to our forerunner. We have Alex up at men's start. And then we run down through the men's list. And the start order for our men's second heat: Keaton, Ian, Sean, Zach, and Johnny. Then we go down to start 3 for the second heat of the women's race for Sophie, Chevy, Rachel, Ashley, Brittany, Emily, and Summer. And again, the award ceremony will be up at the upper finish. Award ceremony at the upper finish. It's a 10-minute warning until we begin. A 10-minute warning until we begin. Once again, for today, our forerunner sleds up first. That's Alex. And then we move on through the men's order for Keaton, Ian, Sean, Zach, and Johnny. And then we will have Sophie, Siobhan, Rachel, Ashley, Brittany, Emily, and Summer down at Lady Start. And of course, the doubles team of Dana and Duncan will forerun before the ladies. The award ceremony will be up at the upper finish. Upon the completion of the second heat of the women's field. 5-minute warning. 5-minute warning to Alex. A 5-minute warning to Alex at start 1. 5-minute warning, everyone. Two minutes to Alex. 2 minutes to Alex. Track is clear to start 1 for Alex. Sledding from start 1. This is Alex. This is our Australian friend acting as a forerunner sled here today. He had an awesome first run. Probably do the same here on his second run. Coming down through the upper straightaways, we have the exciting second heat of the men's race coming up shortly. Then we'll have the exciting second run of the women's race up after that. This is our forerunner sled down around 8 and 9 into 10, Shady 2. Through 10, through the labyrinth, into curve 14. Through the chicane, sliding 17. Juniors, please don't stand there. Juniors, please don't stand there. Through and down. That was our first forerunner sled. Up first for the men's second heat, we'll have Keaton Jens. Track's clear to start 1. Start number 1 for Keaton. Sled in from start 1. This is Keaton Jens. First run down time for Keaton was a 56.582. He's going to be setting the pace here on our second run. Start time for Keaton Jens of 6.566. He's through Cliffside, coming down into Whiteface, and out onto the Devil's Highway. A little late in curve 4. Having a little bit of difficulty here in the upper straightaways of the track. We went back and we spritzed the track again, so there should be some solid conditions for our second heat here. Keaton's into curve 10, shady 2. Exiting 10, little skid there on the exit at 10. Finding the line in 12. Taking that free parking spot in 13 to get back on track into 17. Speed 71.4 miles per hour for Keaton Jens. Down 18 and climbing curve 19. And Keaton's crossing the finish line. His time here on run number 2 is a 53.338 with a combined time of 149.920. He'll sit in first. Here in our second heat of competition, we'll have Ian Smith up next. Track's clear to start 1 for Ian. Sled in from start 1. This is Ian Smith. First run down time for Ian, 52.646. He's looking for a 57.274 or better in order to move up into first place here on run 2. Start time on the second run for Ian Smith of 6.590. Entering the Devil's Highway portion with about 3 seconds in the bank here. Again, this is Ian Smith. Total of 5 sleds joining us in our second heat of competition. A little bit of trouble in 8 and 9 for Ian. Entering curve 10, shady 2 now down through the labyrinth. Looking to get his labyrinth perfect here. Not too shabby as he slides 14. Exiting the bend at 73 miles per hour and entering the heart of the track with about 4.5 seconds to work with. Ian well on his way into first place with a time of 52.768 and a combined time for Ian Smith of 145.414. Up next, Sean Hollander. Sean, stand by. Track's clear to start 1 for Sean. Sled in from start 1. This is Sean Hollander. First run down time for Sean, 52.137. Looking for a 53.277 or better here on his second heat. 6.449 start time for Sean Hollander. Nice straightaways here through the top section of the track. Exiting Whiteface out onto the Devil's Highway with 7/10 in the bank. It's Ian and Keaton sitting 1 and 2. Here as we progress through our second and final heat of the Norton Championship race. Exiting 10 and down through the labyrinth. Solid run here for Sean Hollander as he enters curve 14 Benham's Bend with a second in the bank. 74.6 miles per hour as he slides into the heart. Sean Hollander, very solid run here for his second heat. Coming up and crossing the finish line with a down time of 51.912. He improves upon his first run down time, giving him a combined time of 144.049. That's going to put him in first. We'll have Zach DiGregorio up next. Track's clear to start 1 for Zach. Sled in from start 1. This is Zach DiGregorio, 52.099 on his first run, looking for a 51.950 on his second run. So he needs a slight improvement upon his first run down time in order to jump up into first place. Sean Hollander laying down a burner of a second heat. So he's going to sit in first place after his second run. Sean, Ian, and Keaton sitting 1, 2, and 3. 6.513 start time for Zach DiGregorio. Making his way into 10, Shady 2, 4/10 behind. Exiting 10 down through the labyrinth, now a 1/10 of a second behind as he progresses into curve 14, Benham's Bend. This is Zach DiGregorio trying to chase down Sean Hollander, 74.2 miles per hour as he enters the heart. Down 18, climbing curve 19, back by a quarter of a second. Sean Hollander moving up a spot. Zach DiGregorio through and down at 52.240 and a 144.339 combined time. That'll make it Sean, Zach, and Ian 1, 2, and 3 with one competitive sled remaining for the men. That is Johnny Gustafson. Johnny, stand by. Track's clear to start 1 for Johnny. So, led in track from start 1. This is Johnny Gustafson. Sliding curve 1 start time for Johnny of 6.399. Strong start off the top for Johnny. That's going to build on his momentum from the first heat. Get a first run down time of 51.694. Exiting Whiteface down through the Devil's Highway. 5/10 in the bank here for Johnny. Sean, Zach, and Ian sitting 1, 2, and 3. Johnny's at a 10, Shady 2, 5/10 to work with, looking for a 52.355 or better in order to move up into first place. Nice labyrinth portion for Johnny, losing a little bit of time, finding it back, 5/10 still to work with, 74.9 miles per hour as he enters the heart of the track. Johnny down 18, climbing curve 19, maintaining his lead through the finish curve. Your leader for today, Johnny Gustafson, through and down into first place at 51.828 with a 143.522 combined time. Be 1 minute warning to the doubles 4-runner sled, 1 minute warning to the doubles 4-runner sled. Congratulations, Johnny Gustafson. It is Johnny's, Sean, and Zach sitting 1, 2, and 3 for today. Track's clear to start 3 for Dana and Duncan. So, led in track from start 3. This is the doubles team of Dana Kellogg and Duncan Seeger acting as a 4-runner sled. Through Whiteface coming down through the Devil's Highway. These guys probably had a personal best there on their first run. We're going to do the same here on their second run. It's a quick day today. Exciting stuff here at Mount Van Hovenberg. Order for our women's second heat of competition, Sophie, Siobhan, Rachel, Ashley, Brittany, Emily, and Summer. This is the doubles team of Dana and Duncan having a nice run here. Through the chicane, sliding into curve 17. And 69.7 miles per hour here. Down 18, climbing curve 19. Dana and Duncan through and down. Sophie, stand by. Track is clear to start 3 for Sophie. Sledding from start 3, this is Sophie Kirkby. First sled off for our women's second heat of competition, coming down through the Devil's Highway with a 6.558 start time. Sophie's down time from run number 1, a 45.658. 7 sleds. Join us in the second heat of competition here today. This is Sophie Kirkby coming down through the labyrinth. A little bit of difficulty there on the exit of curve 10. It's a difficult spot for the losers so far this year. It's been trouble in skeletons, been trouble in bobsled. Shapes of the curves a little different. Coming down through curve 18, climbing curve 19. Sophie setting the pace here on her second heat. Through and down, 45.309. So she improves upon her first run down time by almost 0.3 of a second. Solid run for Sophie. She's going to sit in first place so far with a combined time of 1:30.967. We have Chevy up next. Track's clear to start 3 for Chevy. Sledding from start 3. This is Siobhan Forgan in track for her second run of the day. 6.480 start time here on run number 2. 44.729 was her first run down time. Through the 8-9 crossover, so far so good for Chevy as she enters curve 10, shady 2, with about a full second in the bank. 46.238 or better would jump her up into first place here on run number 2. Through the bend and through the chicane, doing 69.4 miles per hour. Entering curve 17 of the heart. Again, this is Chevy. Down 18, climbing curve 19. Very nice run from Chevy. Should improve upon her first run down time. She does by 0.2 of a second. 44.567 down time for Chevy. Her combined time, 1:29.296, putting her in first place after her second and final heat. We'll have Rachel Germain up next. Rachel, stand by. Track's clear to start 3 for Rachel. Sled in from start 3. This is Rachel Germain. Slide in Whiteface coming down through the Devil's Highway. Solid first run for Rachel. Landed her at 44.677. Start time here on the second run of 6.560. She had a little bit of difficulty down the start ramp, so that's why we're seeing a little bit slower of a start time for Rachel. On her way through 10, shady 2. Once again, start 6.560. She's trying to chase down Chevy, who's currently sitting in first place with a combined time of 1:29.296. Solid run through the labyrinth for Rachel Germain. She's only 0.07 of a second behind the pace of our current leader, Siobhan Forgan. Finding the time she needs here in the hard portion of the track, looking for a 44.619 or better in order to move up into first place. Now only 1/100 of a second ahead of the pace as she crosses the finish line into first with a down time of 44.545. Combined time for Rachel Germain of 1:29.222. Up next, we'll have Ashley Farquharson. Ashley, stand by. Tracks clear to start 3 for Ashley. Silhouette track from start 3. This is Ashley Farquharson. Sliding whiteface down through the Devil's Highway. Start time 6:5:18. 44:480. The first run down time for Ashley as she progresses down through the Devil's Highway. She'll have next to about 2/10 to work with. She'll be chasing down Rachel Germain here on the second run, looking for a 44:742 or better in order to move up into first place. If she can match her first run down time, she'll be sitting pretty. Rachel, Chevy, and Sophie sitting 1, 2, and 3, with Ashley in track making her way into curve 17. Down 18, climbing curve 19. And Ashley's going to be through and down at 44:535, putting her in first place by 2/10 of a second with a 1:29.015 combined time. Tracks clear to start 3 for Brittany. Sled in from start 3. This is Brittany Arndt. Through whiteface, sliding down through the Devil's Highway. Start time for Brittany of 6:5:09. Brittany is going to be chasing down Ashley. Time to beat 44:767. 44:248 was her first run down time. 2/10 in the bank as she enters curve 10. Shady 2. Brittany Arndt exiting curve 10, coming down through the labyrinth. A little bit of a skid there at a curve 10. We'll see how it affects her speed here. Not very much. She's actually still finding time as she navigates through the chicane into curve 17. Sliding 17, 2/10 in the bank here for Brittany. Well on her way into the lead here. She tries to chase down her teammate Ashley Farquharson. 3/10 as she crosses the finish line into first place with a downtime of 44:373. 44:373. The downtime for Brittany Arndt, giving her a combined time of 1:28.621. We'll have Emily Sweeney up next. Tracks clear to start 3 for Emily. Sled in from start 3. This is Emily Sweeney. Sliding through whiteface, coming down through the Devil's Highway with a start time of 6:463. Emily looking for a 44:435 or better to move up into first place here on run 2. Brittany, Ashley, and Rachel sitting 1, 2, and 3 with our final 2 sleds remaining. Emily, 44:186 on her first run. She has about 2/10 of a second to work with as she chases down Brittany Arndt. Solid labyrinth for Emily Sweeney, finding plenty of time here. Speed right around 70.5 miles per hour as she enters the heart of the track. Down 18, climbing curve 19, 3/10 for Emily Sweeney as she moves into first place with a down time of 44:112, combined time of 1:28.298 for Emily Sweeney. With one competitive sled remaining, Summer Britcher. Summer, stand by. Tracks clear to start 3 for Summer. So let in track from start 3. This is Summer Britcher, our final sled to for the 2019 Norton Seating Championship. This is the completion of the women's race. This is the leader after run number 1, Summer Britcher, in track for her final run of the day. 44.047 on run 1, looking for a 44.251 here on run 2 in order to chase down Emily Sweeney, who's currently sitting in the lead with a combined time of 128.298. 0.08 of a second to work with for Summer Britcher. She's losing time here through the lower curves of the track. 70 miles per hour as she enters the heart. 0.03 of a second to work with here through the finish curve. 7 thousandths now as she tries to chase down Emily. She'll be in first place by 6 thousandths of a second over 2 runs. 44.245, the downtime for Summer Britcher on her second run, and giving her the winning combined time 128.292. So, Summer taking home first here today, followed by Emily in second. Brittany Arndt taking home third. Congratulations, ladies. Congratulations to all of our competitive sleds here today. Thank you for joining us. That was Summer Britcher through and down in first place. Combined time 128.292. Emily Sweeney sits in second at 128.298. Brittany Arndt takes home third here today with 128.621. And of course, we saw Johnny Gustafson take it home for the men today. Thank you for joining us, whether you tuned in online or trackside. Exciting race here today for the 2019 Norton Seating Championship race. For our spectators, please join us at 1 o'clock for the USABS Skeleton Team Trials race. Team USA's top skeleton sliders will be battling it out with the track here today in order to determine who is the leader for the skeleton team. And again, for our spectators, the award ceremony will be at the upper finish. Award ceremony at the upper finish today. Track's clear until 1 o'clock.